Just because you get a criminal record doesn't mean your life is over. Hey, this is David Brooks, the Cadillac Counselor, just coming at you today with another interview. Normally, I interview people for many different reasons, but today this is just about criminogenics. You to make sure that you share this because I want people to understand what this program is really about and the success that it can have in people's life. We don't really look at just substance abuse. We don't just look at mental health, but we look at the criminogenic needs and risk factors so that we can get people back to life. My former clients, and now he's in aftercare, he signed a consent, but he wanted to express the type of things that he's learned in the program. So without any further ado, I'll let you meet Tristan.
Hello, my name is Tristan Archibald. I have been in the drug treatment program for almost a year now, and I have had a lot of changes go on in my life since I started. I grew up a pretty normal life, and I dabbled in some weed and alcohol, and eventually I got to the selling point of all that. And I got caught up one time, and I was lucky and fortunate enough to get out of that situation without getting into too much trouble. And I managed to, cheat my way through it, and in the end I still got away with it and I was let off scotch-free. I did it. Very rare, I'd say. So after that, with all the luck I had, and I had nothing on my back anymore, no more probation, I was foolish enough to go back into the market of selling weed again. And it wasn't all for nothing. Something happened and I needed to make right of it, and I thought the only way I could make right of it and get enough money was to go back into the weed business and selling to my friends again. Stupid by doing that, and then even more stupid by selling weed to somebody that I didn't even know, and I got caught up yet again. And the second time around, they don't let you off so easy. I got put on pretrial probation, and they basically had me wait for my court hearing. And during this time, I started losing faith in myself and the future goals that I wanted to achieve. And in doing so, I went down a slippery slope of alcohol and just numbing everything that could happen in the future, numbing all my thoughts. I just kept going out and trying to have a good time because I knew my good times were soon to be over and it was gonna suck, which I thought it was gonna suck, but little did I know. So I just continued to drink, continued to go out, continued to black out, continued, down an even more slippery slope into alcoholism. And by the time my court date came up and they offered me drug court, I knew I had to stop everything and commit to it. And they told me to keep an open mind and to be ready for, anything, because you just don't know what to expect when you enter. So I did such, and ever since I've started, I've stayed committed. I've stayed, dedicated to following the rules, the schedules, meeting up with my appointments, and I've stayed on a good path and haven't strayed from it. And when I have put a lot of effort into something like this from the very start, it makes me not even want to consider going back to any drugs, alcohol, anything that would set me back on my path and leave me stranded. It's been quite a ride so far, and I'm still not done.
So Tristan, I mean, we heard your story. You've been in drug court. I remember the first time you came in, I was just like, man, this young man is off the chain, Came in riding a skateboard, had this big long board in the hallway. Can I set this down? And I remember calling drug court like, man, what in the world did you guys send down here? And Paul was just like, just work with him. Try to teach him, try to get him going. So when you came into the program, what kind of things came into your mind when you first walked in and you started to when you knew that you had to come here? What was going through your mind?
I remember coming before, and that was before drug court, and I remembered coming in, doing the modules. I think I got up to module 4, and that's when, once I got up to that point, and then I knew I was going to be on drug court, and I knew I was going to come back in again, I kind of just said, why even bother? And I'll just come back in and I'll just do it from scratch. Coming in the second time around, I was like, here we go again. Look a second time at, what did I think about last time? I know there's something deeper. So it was kind of helpful to have previous experience here, just because I could even get in more in depth with myself, I suppose you could say. And, I found as I was going on, the more questions I asked myself, the less I even knew about these answers that I had. I never knew the answers to some of these questions you asked me before. I, didn't know what to make of some of them, and it was enlightening at the same time as rewarding, because I learned a lot about myself. And in this program, you have to learn more about yourself than anything else.
So when people come in here and they say, I'm here for substance abuse, or I'm just here for mental health, whenever we start working on these modules, because people, whatever it was that brought you into criminal behavior, I'm going to give them the criminogenic program, so that they understand. How did the substance abuse play a part in what you learned here? Because I try not to focus on the substance use as much, because I'm looking at the behaviors of the substance use. Can you explain in your take of what I do here, how does it play out for you?
Well, for me, it played out, like you said, you focus less on the substance abuse itself. You focus on the what's behind the picture of all of the abuse. You look at the abuse, it's bad, it's ruining your life, but what's made you go to that path, and what made you choose to pick up that drug in the first place to continue to use it, and what in the future, while you're using it, what keeps you at that same at the same level of addiction, and you're increasing your
likelihood to
continue. Yeah.
So the first module, honesty. What was your struggle with just honesty? Just the word honesty in your life.
Honesty was within my life was that, I wasn't honest with myself, because I kept trying to just do drugs and have a good time, and that's what my basis was. I wanted to make the most of my life and have the most fun day to day, because that's what I believe you should do, and not let a moment of life go to waste. Reality behind all of that was that I was trying to soak up everything I could before I got into drug court, and also I was soaking up all I could because I knew that, I thought I knew, and I felt it, that my future goals were too far gone, and I might as well make the best of every day of my life.
3, where it talks about pleasure seeking. What did you learn about your pleasure seeking?
After module 1, I learned about the honesty, and I had to be honest with myself. And then module 3 about pleasure seeking showed me what I do that is pleasure seeking. That instant kind of gratification that we always talk about.
Yeah.
It goes into that too, and it shows you the little things in life you do to get that instant gratification, and what you do to go pleasure seeking. I go pleasure seeking when I go out to bars and hang out with a bunch of friends. That's a pleasure that I go and seek because it fills something up inside me that I'm not doing on my own.
What do you think that is?
And that's striving towards like future goals in life. That's actually like making an effort to change something. You know, like little things can go a long way in positive change in your life. And when you just do the quickest thing possible to feel that goal satisfied, it kind of just sets you back 10 steps.
So what do you think about whenever we talk about caring for others? Like when it says, name 3 people that you care about and show 3 ways that you care. I try to teach clients, you know, sometimes like you might go to open a door and everybody else in the room says, wow, man, he's really caring about this young lady that comes through the door, but really they only do it just to get a glance.
Yeah.
You got me? Because our motives, we act like we're caring for someone, but it's really for selfish motive. What did you learn about that?
Well, started to notice it even more, like, you know, doing this just for, you know, the good, you know, just for like the purpose of doing it to make you feel better, and, you know, it makes them feel good. And that's kind of why I've always liked my job, because even though I get paid to do it and they tip me and everything, I still get a pleasure out of, you know, getting something for someone that's like off the menu, or, you know, getting them a special drink. You know, I'll try to do my best if I can do it, even if my, you know, superiors don't want me to do it. I still want to try my best to do it just because it's a good thing to do.
What was that one thing that you learned out of Criminogenics that helped you turn away from wanting to do criminal behavior?
The one thing that made me turn away from wanting to do criminal behavior is that, you know, they all say, you know, you either end up in jail or dead, but, you know, they don't say how it changes you and how it changes like how you think and how you know, speak to someone, or how you interact with, you know, normal every day-to-day people. You know, it changes you deeper than what you think. So it doesn't only change, you know, your future, it changes who you are. Because you're not going to be the same person if you continue. You're going to change into something else.
About goals. So before you got into the program, before you got into drug court, you said that you didn't really have a lot of goals. What turned that around? What made you want to have goals now?
What made me want to have goals is basically the easiest thing is because I stopped trying to go out for those instant, you know, gratifications, and I stopped trying to, you know, pleasure seek. You know, I found that doing little steps, little things to improve your life, like little goals that take a while to succeed in, but,
like, give me a couple of
examples. So when I first started drug court, you know, I wanted to make it get healthier because I was like 210. So I said, I'm gonna start on a diet for the first 30 days and let's see where that takes me. First 30 days I did it, and then I had results. Took a while, but I did. Felt great. So then I went to the gym, and then I wanted to strive for fitness goals, and that was another thing. And, you know, before drug court even started, I really wanted to hit the relationship goal. That kind of built up, and I actually had a relationship as soon as I started drug court. So that was a goal I achieved right off the bat. And, you know, that turns into a long-term goal, you know, if you want to play with the end game. So I've been doing great with her too, and we've had a great relationship. So that was a huge goal that I wanted. And another goal that I'm trying to succeed in is my GED goal. Now that's taking a while, but recently I've just committed really hard to doing it by getting a computer to use for the GED program I have online. So I'm committed to doing that, and that's going to be my end goal for drug court. To walk out of here with a GED, sober, fit, girlfriend, job. Well, hopefully, if the COVID ever lightens up and my job opens back up, because I really liked working there. You don't find a job where you like your managers and, you know, the people that come in quite often. But, you know, hopefully that will land, and then hopefully I can get my own place eventually and a car. So
tell me this, so from here on out, what are you going to take away from Criminogenics that will continue your success in life? What was that one thing that you learned? Learning what goals to set in life. If I set my goal in the beginning of drug court as, you know, get a car,
that was going to be an extremely hard goal because there's a lot of things setting me back that I need to build up. So I need to set smaller goals in order to even get that goal. So if you set yourself up for failure, getting a nice car when you don't have a lot of money and you just have a new job and you have all this probation and meetings you have to attend to, it's not likely that you're going to fail, but you can make little steps towards it, like saving a little bit of money here and there, and trying to boost your credit here and there, setting little goals that you can accomplish bit by bit will give you that feeling that you once had by going out and getting drunk or having a party or anything like that.
So really what you're saying is that you started to meet your criminogenic needs. You had risk that ultimately if you didn't meet these needs, the risk was going to continue that. Like if you didn't get the job or you didn't get a relationship, it would ultimately cause you to get depressed. And then you get frustrated, and then that's when, like the second time you got arrested was due to you never changed your criminogenic needs.
Yeah.
And it sounds like you are using this to have small goals, fixing your credit, saving money, which then ultimately is changing your needs.
Yeah.
So now that you say, my last one need that I need is a GED, and you already started buying a computer, you bought other things that will be a catalyst to get that.
Yeah.
So looking at the whole process of your criminal history, how would you want someone to see you now?
Someone to see me now? I mean, everyone's always seen me as like, a nice guy, genuine guy, wild though, because I always got crazy drunk and smoked a lot of weed. So he's like nice, crazy, a little crazy though. But now, I mean, I don't have to like want people to see me a certain way. They naturally see it because I've changed a lot. Wow. I get that from all my friends. I get it from people that I've only met a couple times. Like it's incredible how much people have noticed. So I don't really, want people to see me. I see it within myself, and other people can see the reflection that I'm looking at.
I tell you all the time, like what I've seen from you from the first day you walked in to where you're at right now, I'm honored to have seen and watched your process. I don't think that I was the main part of your process. I think you had already started believing in yourself, and with that I was just a part to be able to teach you something that you didn't already know.
Yeah.
So this is Tristan. Tristan has been doing a wonderful job in this drug court experience. He's been coming for aftercare, and I've seen nothing but success out of this young man. And so for you guys that are watching this, I want you guys to understand that just because you get caught up in criminal behavior doesn't mean that that's the end of your life. You just have to learn some stuff. And what would you say about programs who don't provide criminogenic groups or treatment? What do you think they're missing out on?
Man, last time I went for, criminogenic behavior, addiction, and all that. I'm not going to say the place because that's not right to do. But, I mean, their program was not, it was sort of just, just to get you signed, you've attended and to get you out, and there's no real, connection with someone or somebody else in the room, and there wasn't any real work to be done to look at yourself. I remember we just spoke about our week around the room, and then when you got to the end, class was over. This has you sit down, you have a program, and you have 10 modules in it, and each one is very different and gets you to ask different questions about yourself, and it really gets you to thinking about what you're doing and what have you done and what could be fixed in the future. And that is the main difference. Honestly, that is the main difference, because going around a circle asking how your week was is nothing.
I'm all about when you come into my program, I want you to get better so that you can go back to your family, go back to your jobs, go back to all of those things. We don't want to just have you get a completion letter and say, hey.
Exactly.
And then you come back and do it all over again. I try to make it be the last time that you need to come into treatment. Now, you might want to, but it's because you don't need to. You got me? So what would you tell people who are just looking me up or looking Brooks Behavior up? What do they expect to get out of coming here?
The first time I looked it up, I was hoping it would be like a get out of trouble free card, honestly. But the second time, I came back, it was a free card to change your life, honestly. Like, it's really not free. It takes a little bit of work, and, it takes some in-depth look at yourself that you might not be happy with, or you wish wasn't really there, but you find out that it's there, and you actually get to acknowledge that and change it.
Hey, you heard it from him. He's already completed it. He's going on to success. We're not saying that his process is over, because I believe it's just begun, because he's young, and I believe he's going to be very successful. I think he's going to be a wonderful husband one day and father, because he's just a good guy. He just needed to understand where he was at in life. So, hey, I appreciate you.
Hey, I appreciate everything you've done.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. It's David Brooks, the Cadillac Counselor. Thanks for tuning in. All right.